Unit 1. Innovations. Recording 2.
Hello, I'm Hans, and these are my colleagues Ahmed and Magda. Our aim in this short talk is firstly to explain what an X-ray is, secondly to describe a simple X-ray machine, thirdly to explain how it works, and finally to mention how X-rays are used in medicine. So, what are the main differences between ordinary light and X-rays? Both of them are the result of the movement of electrons in atoms. In short, the movement of these electrons causes visible light photons and X-ray photons. The difference is that the X-ray photons have much more energy and pass through most things, but not through metals like lead and not through human bones either. Are there any questions at this point? So, now I'm going to ask Ahmed to talk about the X-ray machine. Ahmed, would you like to take over?
Sure. If you have a look at this slide on the screen, you can see a diagram of an X-ray machine. It sits in this lead case. You have a cathode at the top and an anode at the bottom. An electric current passes through the cathode at the top here and heats it up. The tungsten anode at the bottom here draws an electron beam across the tube. This process, I won't go into details now, releases extra energy in the form of X-ray photons. So, what happens to this stream of high-energy photons? Well, first, it produces a lot of heat. So there is a cool oil bath here which absorbs the heat. Next, to stop the X-ray photons from escaping in all directions, we have this thick lead case all around the machine. As a result, the X-ray machine emits X-ray photons in a narrow beam, which passes through a filter through this small window here, and eventually goes through the patient's body. When the X-rays pass through the patient, this is recorded on film as a negative image. So the bones appear white and the soft tissues appear black or gray. Why is this? Well, soft tissues are made up of small atoms, so they don't absorb the X-ray photons very well and don't show up on the film. However, the bones are made up of larger atoms, so these absorb the X-rays and show up on the image. We can now turn to the next part of our presentation, and I'd like to ask Magda to take over. She's going to talk about uses of X-ray technology in medicine. Magda.
Thanks. As Ahmed just explained, soft body tissue doesn't show up clearly on an X-ray picture. Therefore, we need to introduce a contrast medium into the body. Contrast media are liquids that absorb X-rays better than the surrounding tissue. For example, to examine the stomach, medics get the patient to swallow a barium compound, that is, a harmless contrast media mixture. We do this before the X-ray. Then, when the X-ray is taken, the contrast medium shows up, and you can see the shape of the soft tissues that you are trying to examine. As you can see in slide A, the patient's stomach is invisible. And now, if you look at slide B, you can see its shape very clearly, and in particular, this dangerous swelling here. That's all I have to say now. Do you have any questions? Okay, if there are no questions, I'll hand back to Hans.